she said.
You're going to do it for us.
Then she paused.
And you were nearly my brother-in-law.
He said nothing, just nodded and shuffled out from behind the table and glanced back once. Then he headed up the stairs and out to the street. Her perfume was on his hand. He walked around to the cabaret lounge and left a note for his friends in their dressing room. Then he headed out to the highway, with 10 whole days to find a way to kill the fourth best protected person on the planet. It had started 8 hours earlier, like this. Team leader M.E. Froelich came to work on that Monday morning, 13 days after the election, an hour before the second strategy meeting, 7 days after the word assassination had first been used, and made her final decision. She set off in search of her immediate superior, and found him in the secretarial pen outside his office, clearly on his way to somewhere else, clearly in a hurry. He had a file under his arm and a definite stay-back expression on his face. But she took a deep breath and made it clear that she needed to talk right then, urgently, and off the record, and in private, obviously. So he paused a moment and turned abruptly and went back inside his office. He let her step in after him and closed the door behind her, softly enough to make the unscheduled meeting feel a little conspiratorial, but firmly enough to leave her in no doubt he was annoyed about the interruption to his routine. It was just the click of a door latch, but it was also an unmistakable message, parsed exactly in the language of office hierarchies everywhere. You better not be wasting my time with this. He was a 25-year veteran, well into his final lap before retirement, well into his middle 50s, the last echo of the old days. He was still tall, still fairly lean and athletic, but graying fast and softening in some of the wrong places. His name was Stuyvesant, like the last Director General of New Amsterdam, he would say when the spelling was questioned. Then, acknowledging the modern world, he would say, like the cigarette. He wore Brooks Brothers every day of his life without exception, but he was considered capable of flexibility in his tactics. Best of all, he had never failed. Not ever. And he had been around a long time, with more than his fair share of difficulties. But there had been no failures, and no bad luck either. Therefore, in the merciless calculus of organizations everywhere, he was considered a good guy to work for. You look a little nervous, he said.
I am, a little,
Froelich said back. His office was small and quiet and sparsely furnished and very clean. The walls were painted bright white and lit with halogen. There was a window with white vertical blinds half closed against gray weather outside. Why are you nervous? He asked.
I need to ask your permission.
For what?
For something I want to try,
she said. She was 20 years younger than Stuyvesant, exactly 35. Tall rather than short, but not excessively. Maybe only an inch or two over the average for American women of her generation. But the kind of intelligence and energy and vitality she radiated took the word medium right out of the equation. She was halfway between lithe and muscular, with a bright glow in her skin and her eyes that made her look like an athlete. Her hair was short and fair and casually unkempt. She gave the impression of having hurriedly stepped into her street clothes after showering quickly after winning a gold medal at the Olympics by playing a crucial role in some kind of team sport. Like it was no big deal. Like she wanted to get out of the stadium before the television interviewers got through with her teammates and started in on her. She looked like a very competent person, but a very modest one. What kind of something? Stuyvesant asked. He turned and placed the file he was carrying on his desk. His desk was large, topped with a slab of gray composite. High-end modern office furniture, obsessively cleaned and polished like an antique. He was famous for always keeping his desktop clear of paperwork and completely empty. The habit created an air of extreme efficiency.
I want an outsider to do it,
Froelich said. Stuyvesant squared the file on the desk corner and ran his fingers along the spine and the adjacent edge, like he was checking the angle was exact. You think that's a good idea? He asked. Froelich said nothing. I suppose you've got somebody in mind? He asked.
An excellent prospect.
Who? Froelich shook her head.
You should stay outside.